I stopped picking up my husband's dry cleaning before Mondays. So my husband Craig has these shirts. Not normal shirts. He works in sales and he has this whole thing about how his shirts have to be pressed a specific way. No starch in the collar but starch in the cuffs, and there's exactly one place in town that does it how he likes. It's 20 minutes from our house in the opposite direction of literally everything. For like 6 years, every Saturday I've driven out there, picked up his 5 shirts for the week, brought them home, and hung them in his closet in the order he wears them. He has an order. Monday is the light blue one because he says Monday meetings need approachable. I'm not making that up. I work too, by the way. I do payroll for a construction company. I have never once asked him to pick up anything of mine. Anyway, a few weeks ago I got sick. Not dying, but like fever. Couldn't stand up for long sick. Saturday comes and I'm on the couch under a blanket and he goes, "Are you gonna be up for the shirts?" I said, "Craig, I have a fever of 101. He goes, "So that's a no?" I said, "It closes at 5. You could go." And he just kind of laughed and said, "Yeah, but you know how they are with the ticket thing. The ticket thing, you hand them a piece of paper. That's the ticket thing." He didn't go. He wore a shirt from the back of his closet on Monday and complained about it for 3 days. Said it made him look unserious. Said a client noticed. I doubt a client noticed. So the next Saturday I got better and I went and picked them up because I'm an idiot, I guess. And when I brought them in, he didn't say thank you. He said, "Oh good, you got the blue one back." Something about that just did it. Not even the big stuff, the blue one back. So the following Saturday, I didn't go. I didn't announce it or anything. I just didn't go. I went to the farmer's market with my sister and got coffee and came home at like 2 p.m. and he was watching golf. He goes, "Did you get the shirts?" I said no. He waited, like there was gonna be a second part. There wasn't. He said, "Okay, well they close at 5. I said, "Yep." He looked at me for a second and then went back to the golf and I could tell he thought I was gonna get up around 4:30 and go. I did not get up around 4:30. I made a sandwich. Around 4:45 he stands up real slow and says, "Are you serious right now?" I said, "The ticket's on the fridge." He drove out there. Made it with like 8 minutes to spare. Came back and slammed the shirts down on the counter still in the bag and said, "There. Happy?" I said, "I don't really care either way." That's what got him. He kept trying to make it a fight and I just wasn't in it. He said, "So you're just done doing things for this family?" And I said, "I picked up your shirts. That's not the family, that's your shirts." Next Saturday, same thing. I didn't go. He didn't ask this time. He just got his keys around 3 p.m. and made a big production of it. Sighing, jingling the keys. I said, "Have fun." He said, "This is petty." I said, "Okay." Third Saturday he forgot. Just straight up forgot because it had never been his to remember. Sunday night at like 9 p.m., I hear his closet door open and then close and then open again. And then he comes out to the living room and says, "Where are my shirts?" I said, "At the dry cleaners." He goes, "Why?" I actually laughed. I said, "Because that's where they live until somebody goes and gets them." He said, "You couldn't have reminded me." And I said, "Craig, I didn't know either." I stopped keeping track. He stood there in the doorway in his boxers holding a hanger and I could see him doing the math on it, like realizing that nobody was keeping track anymore, that the whole thing had just been running in the background of my brain for 6 years and I turned it off and there was no backup. He said, "So what am I supposed to wear tomorrow?" I said, "Whatever's in there." He wore the one from the back of the closet again, the unserious one. He asked me at like 7 p.m. Sunday if I thought it looked okay and I said it looked fine, because it did. It's a shirt. Monday morning he's standing at the mirror, pulling at the collar and he goes, "You know you're punishing me, right?" I was putting my earrings in. I said, "I'm not punishing you, I just stopped." He said, "Stopped what?" I said, "Driving." He's had a recurring calendar reminder on his phone for 2 months now. It goes off at 3 p.m. on Saturdays and he checks the fridge for the ticket himself.